after a couple weeks off, and we ready to hit the ground running. Today's episode, the power of purpose, every man's mission. So we're gonna start it out with what I'm grateful for. I'm happy and I'm grateful for life. I'm happy and grateful that we had a safe trip to Thailand and back. I'm happy and grateful that I've learned from some great coaches. When you go to a place like Thailand, where it's the when you go to the home birthplace of the thing that you do, right? So I run a Muay Thai gym, and going to Thailand and listening to not just um the coach at our gym where our lineage started, but then listening to other coaches, listening to other crews, and listening to other people talk and hear them say a lot of the same things that you say, and having your fighters hear a lot of the same messages is validating and also one of the most gangster things ever, because it's like I'm following the path that I'm supposed to be on, right? I'm doing things correctly, and it's a lot of fun. To be honest with you, it's there's no better feeling than being validated in your job. There's no better feeling than being validated over and over on the things that you're doing. And it's super dope when you're in a place like Thailand and you're hearing these coaches talk and you're hearing these people talk about it. It's just I'm just extremely happy and grateful for my life, and that I get to do these things all the time, or get to do cool things all the time. So as we go forward here, the power of purpose, every man's mission. I believe it is up to every human, but let me be a little more specific. It is important for every man to find their purpose, to find what their calling is, and find what they're supposed to do. The beauty of this is that your purpose may change over time. Your purpose of what you're doing may, may change throughout your lifetime. So I can remember when I was in school and sports were my purpose. At least that's what I believed. And football was definitely my purpose, and I followed that. And I learned a lot from it. I learned a lot from my coaches. I learned a lot from the work. I learned a lot of about myself and how I relied on my God-given gifts and not always putting in the work, the most work that I could. I didn't get the most out of my ability because I didn't always train the hardest. And so, but as I grew, I figured some new things out and pursued music and music business. Wasn't the most talented in that as far as the business side of things. I wasn't just naturally able to read a book and understand everything that I was reading. I wasn't naturally gifted in some of the maneuvers, so I had to put in double and triple amount of work to be able to get the biggest bang for my buck. And as I was doing this, I started finding a new purpose, that helping people and teaching people. And I found a new way to do that with being a Muay Thai coach, and training athletes, and training people to be better. And taking it a step further, I don't just train them on how to use their technique. I'm hoping I'm training them to properly use their mind and be able to really stay focused on their life and their path. And so I believe that it's important that every man truly finds their purpose in life. And so before I go any further, I wanted to read something that I put down. So every man walks through life searching for something to give his existence meaning. It's not until he truly discovers his purpose that he can begin to fully realize his potential. The journey to finding your purpose isn't just about achievement. It's about understanding who you are at your core, what drives you, and how you can use your talents and passions to make an impact. Once you find that purpose, the key is to commit to it fully, because only through dedication can a man truly rise to the heights he's destined for. So, as as I read that, it all jumps out at me. Like, a lot of us throughout our lifetime don't take the time to figure out what our purpose is. We don't pay attention to what's really calling to us. We just work a normal 9 to 5 and just, let me make this money, and let me go on a vacation when I got a week off. Let me go enjoy my weekend. And we work 5 days, 6 days for 1 or 2 days off, and we'll work, you know, 350 days out of a year to get 15 days off, which is mind blowing to me. Like, it's not balancing out, and we wonder why we're suffering in this world, and why mental our mental game is gone, and why we're suffering from anxiety and depression and all these different things, because we're not living within our own purpose. We're not living within ourselves and figuring out what we're meant to do. And a lot of people really find excuses of and reasons why they can't follow their purpose. Oh, I need money for this, and I need money for this, and my family needs this, and my family needs that. And it's like, those problems aren't going to go away just because you're working a job. In order to find your purpose, you have to really, really dive into yourself. You have to take the time to realize who you are. The way there, so some of the ways that I've done it in my life, and some of the ways I do it for my students, is I ask them simple questions. I'm like, hey, write down, if you could do any job, anything that you wanted, right? Anything. Write down 5 of them, right? Write down 5. And if they have more, I'm like, but if you have more than 5, write down 10, right? So this is an exercise that you could do. You pull out a note paper and you just write down, if you could do anything that you wanted to do, write down 5 of them, right? So if I did that right now, it would be podcasting, it would be coaching, it would be working on a book, it would be playing video games. There's 4. Coaching football would probably be my 5th, right? Now, now you write all that down, right? Cool, you got it. Ask yourself, if you had 24 hours to live, which job do you want to do in that 24 hours? You can only pick one, and you circle it, right? But when you circle that job, when you circle that thing that you want to do, now you could build something off of that. Now, I would say, on another piece of paper or on a whiteboard, you write that down. So for me, I would put coaching and teaching people martial arts. That, for me, that could be running a gym just like I'm doing, and all this other stuff. Write that down. And then I'm like, okay, if I'm not already doing that, right? So if you put down, I'm trying to think of a good example that you guys could come up with here. So if, let's say, one of you wants to be a truck driver, right? Or a teacher, you would write that down, and then you would build goals on how to attain that. So if I wanted to be a truck driver, I got to get my CDL. So I got to put that down. I got to start interviewing for jobs and sending in my resume. That's another goal. And I can build off that. Well, then wait a minute. That Mark Mason, that looks deep. I'm gonna chime in on that one in a second. So don't go anywhere. I'm gonna come back to that one. Because that looks super deep. So as you go down these goals, you figure out ways to do it. So if I'm gonna get my CDL, okay, is there a school I gotta go to? Is there classes I gotta take? And off that, okay, I need to turn in my resume. Well, maybe I need to build my resume and I need to do all this. And you just go through all the checks and balances, and then you start and you dive in 100%, and you just keep going, and you keep making it happen until you get there. Now, you may get your CDL, you may get a job, you may do all that, and you may start it and be like, you're a year in, and it's like, this isn't for me. Okay, cool. There's nothing wrong with that. You've done all the work. You could just continue to work this job, and you start again. And you keep doing it until you find that thing that you could do every day that you love. You're not going to like your job all the time. I don't like my job all the time, but I love what I do. So I continue to do it. You just keep building on that. You'll notice that over time, your blueprint never changes, but your purpose might. But finding that new purpose is okay. And it's okay to sit and be like, man, I don't know what I want to do. You figure it out, and you take the time to figure it out. Now, can you scroll up? Because what did he say? Okay. Mark Mason said, it happened to me. Have terminal cancer. Doc gave me 3 months to live. I started a company to leave my kids a legacy. Oh man, a kids a legacy so they have a chance to dream. I felt helpless, and thank God he gave me an invention that will be very successful. Just energy level is very low, but still fighting for the kids' future. Mark, that is wow, man. That is that's deep, brother. First off, let me say I'm I can speak for Corey, who's in the back, making sure that I look good and sound good. I believe I can speak for both of us when we send nothing but blessings to you and positive energy to you, my brother. Like, it's God is better than good. It'll be 14 years in December. Oh my goodness, that is a blessing. So you're this is this is where I really believe that people need to live a little bit more like that. Where I heard Cat Williams talk about it, and it really made an impact on my life. And I didn't realize that I was already living my life like that because of how my childhood was and how I was raised. That life is so short, and we look at it like we have so much time. There's no guarantee of time. There's no guarantee that we are going to live until we're 90. There's no guarantee of that. And because there's no guarantee of that, it's like we should be going out and getting it as much as we can. That's why, to me, it's so important that we find our purpose and go forward. It's not just for ourselves. It's as I said with Mark, it's a legacy we can leave our kids. It's a legacy we can leave on the world. How can we change? How can we change other people's lives? How can we do something for the benefit of others? I've said it multiple times on this podcast that do what you love in the service of others, and you will always find financial success. Will you make millions upon millions of dollars? No, I can't say that. But you'll make a living, and your soul will feel fulfilled because you're doing it to help others, right? I own a gym. There's no guarantee. I'm probably never gonna see 7 figures off that, but my soul feels fulfilled so much when I help others. I'm doing a job that allows me to help others do better. And sometimes it takes somebody to go through what Mark has gone through. Like, you only have 3 months to live. Well, now life has smacked you in the face, and you're like told you got a short amount of time to live, and now you want to go find your purpose. And I'm happy that Mark has found that, and it's And I'm glad he's leaving a legacy for his kids. But let that be a lesson to everyone else. Don't wait until you have 3 months to live. The purpose of writing it down and saying, if I had 24 hours to live, what would I do? Is because that's the reality that we live in. I could go to sleep tonight and I may not be here tomorrow. I may not wake up. So did I tell everybody that I care about that I love them? Did I tell them how much I care about them? Did I tell them thank you for what they've done for me? Did I live out my life the way I wanted to? Did I handle my responsibilities as a man? Did I do the things necessary that I have to do? Because we only have a certain amount of time. You erase time and erase the clock. There's really no guarantee we wake up tomorrow. I'm 44 years old. I'm very blessed that I made it 44 years old. I don't know if I have another 44 in me. I have no idea. I hope so. There's things that I want to do, so I continue to live that life. As I was talking about, Cat Williams said it. He was like, before, at the end of the night, before he lays in bed, he's like, hey, this is it. This is it. I've done everything that I could do. And then he wakes up the next day and he's like, oh man, what a blessing. He's excited to live his life. And a lot of us wake up and we're like, oh my God, I got to do this and I got to do that and I got to do this. And life is so bad. And we whine and we cry and we moan and we sound like a bunch of female dogs. You're given this opportunity to live your life, and all you're gonna do is whine and moan and complain about it. If you don't like what you're doing, that's on you. Figure it out. Figure out your purpose. Like, it's not that difficult. Hey, I like making things. Well, cool, make things for people. What do you like to make? Hey man, I like teaching people. Well, figure out what you want to teach. I enjoyed teaching artists about music business. I enjoyed being their manager, but I didn't enjoy half of the job. So now I'm still teaching people. I'm just teaching them a martial art. I'm teaching them how to use their brain differently. I'm pushing them to their limits some days. I'm trying to help them grow in different ways, taking the knowledge that I've attained throughout my life and things that I'm constantly learning today and passing those lessons on. I'm not keeping any lessons for myself. I'm just sharing and learning how to speak their language so they can understand me, right? It's, what else are you doing? And as a man, that's our purpose, right? That's what we're supposed to be doing. Like, someone said something funny on here, but think about it. I can't speak to women about it. Like, I don't understand. I'm not a woman, so I don't understand. Like, I could tell them, and any woman that's online right now, I could tell you, because you're still human. But I know as a man, there is something deeply rooted inside of us that yearns for us to find our purpose and live out our purpose. If we don't do that, we get stuck and we don't discover the best version of ourselves as a man. And how can we help our kids? How can we help our community? How can we help our family if we're not living within our purpose? Like, you're just living life for yourself? That's hard. That's a hard life, man. Like, we got to make sacrifices. We got to live for others. Wait, what? When you found out you couldn't speak to women, is that when you changed your preference? Within our purpose, when you realized you didn't like women, is that when you switched to men? Who said I didn't like women? I think this is just a troll, but I mean, I'm not sure what they mean, but it's all this applies to all humans, but I don't know if women feel the drive and the pull to live within their purpose as much as men do. It's really it's really a big deal for men to live to find their purpose, and it builds confidence in us. It makes us feel like we are the king of our castle, like we're the king of our world because we're doing that. D, thank you for the heart. I appreciate it so much. Can you scroll up, Corey? I don't know what they're all saying. Brother, you on point. Yes, that's the key to help others. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, that's the crazy thing, Mark. Never been sick and just hit you. Yeah, man. All right, when we scroll down, what we got? You found your purpose in your husband. What? I don't. Yeah. I mean, I this is someone that's enjoying trolling me right now. I'm digging it, so it's fine. D sent a rose and a heart. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. So, what is what do you believe your purpose is? What do you believe that your calling is to do? What is it that you are trying to accomplish in your life? And so, if if you're not sure, that's an issue. I challenge you to figure that out. I challenge you to really start looking within yourself and and figure out what you're really trying to accomplish in your life. That person is interesting. So I'm very curious. Like, give me feedback here. What do you believe your purpose is? What do you believe that you're trying to do? My purpose, I believe, is to teach others. You don't have discipline to eat healthy, yet you talk about motivation. That's that's interesting, Paul. I eat about 2,200 calories a day. I have to ingest here. Hold on. I'll tell you right now. If you guys don't have it, I would suggest the chronometer to track what you're eating. I have to ingest 250 grams of protein. So it's I track everything going on. If you're talking about me being a big guy, well, I'm just a big guy. But anytime y'all want to come to the gym and train, we'll see who passes out first. I'm willing to do that. That's an open challenge to anybody. I always like those. So, oh man,
He's wasting his purpose. He could be a comedian.
yeah, he's a funny guy. This is, and you know what? This is a prime example when people want to troll and people want to do that because if that's your purpose in life, what are you getting out of it? How's that helping you? I mean, other than maybe you're making yourself laugh. So if you're able to make yourself laugh, great. I love it. And you're making us laugh, so I appreciate it. Because I'm okay being a big dude. I'm My fighting career is done. I'm not fighting anymore. So I'm good. And so I'm okay with it. My job now is to make the next generation of fighters and make the next generation of students better. So I'm okay with that. Now, if that is your purpose to get on and troll, more power to you. I hope you accomplish your mission. I hope you're able to get the most out of it. I don't know how that helps other people, but so be it. If it does, great. I just when you're on when you have 24 hours to live, right? Or when you're on that bed, hopefully like I don't know how old you are, but hopefully like 50 years from now, 60 years from now, when you're on your deathbed. I mentioned discipline. Yeah. I, do I train the same way I used to? No, I do not. I train 4 days a week. I do not train like a madman. My discipline is I eat 2,300 calories a day, 252 grams of protein, and I train 4 days a week, but it's not the same. Too many injuries to push myself to the limits like that anymore. And honestly, I don't have the drive to train like a fighter anymore. So the discipline is still training. The discipline is still getting after it. The discipline is still helping my fighters and making sure that I'm showing up every day to hold pads, to work the same way. So as far as calling me out, it's an open door policy at my gym. Anytime you want to come in there and train, we could see who can do what. If you want to, we could check it out. So I'm always game for that. And so, however you want to prove your point, I'm okay with that. I lost my husband 2 years ago. I lost myself in that time being married. I'm learning myself again. Katie, I'm sorry to hear that. That sucks. I lost myself in that time being married. What do you mean you lost yourself? Being married, do you mean you gave everything to the marriage? If so, then I would say, I don't know if you lost yourself, just maybe your purpose changed. Your purpose became, I want to be the best wife I could be. I want to have the best marriage I can have. And there's nothing wrong with that. That seems like a really good thing to me. And it seems like your husband would have been blessed to have you. So I'm interested to see if that's what you mean by you lost yourself, or did you, what exactly are you talking about on that one? So, how tall I'm at. If I say I'm 5'3", does that make it better? He's really he's really trying to figure it out. Paul must be 6'2" and like 170 pounds with a flat stomach. He is trying to calculate something. He came before me.
Okay, I'm trying to calculate like body mass and stuff.
Yeah, he came before you. Well, I mean, typically in a marriage, that's how it works, though. A lot of times, you put your spouse before you. So, and if you did it in all areas of life, then yeah, maybe that's not a good thing. But if you put your spouse first, I mean, that was your purpose. So that's why I'm saying it's not a bad thing. I put my spouse first in a lot of ways. Not all the time. I make sure that my purpose. Oh man, he was okay. So now we're getting a little more information. So he was suffering, and you put him first because of the suffering. Yeah, that's always tough when you do that, when they got a sickness. So that's tough. That's really tough. That's no different than what Mark was talking about. Cancer. I imagine his spouse has put him first a lot. So the sickness is different, but it's rough. So I'm guessing. Wait, what? Katie says I was always scared and worried. Legendary pink dots. How did you agree that all the women's will be? I don't know what they're saying now. Is today the day where I just get more comments like that? Oh, this is crazy. Yeah, that sucks, Katie. When you gotta, hey, what's up, cornflakes? When you gotta worry about someone else's mental health and worry about where their emotional health is, that's always a little rough. And I'm sure it's probably hard for you to figure out what you're trying to do now and where you're trying to go with everything. So the I don't know if you were here earlier when I said what you could do is um how long is your beard? I'm trying to calculate something. I don't know, man. My beard is long, bro. Um, at least we got someone clowning the clown, so that's funny. Um, so Katie, what I said earlier is you can write down 5 things that you really want to do, right? 5 things that call to you. This is what I want to do. It doesn't matter what they are. And then ask yourself, if I had 24 hours to live, which one do I want to do? Which one is it that I want to accomplish? And don't overthink it. Just trust your gut on that one. Circle it, and then just figure out how to go accomplish it and just do it. It may not be your long time purpose, but at least you're setting yourself up to accomplish a goal, accomplish something in your life, and do. I became agro. What is that? Agoraphobic due to it. I just got off all my meds to stay with them. What is that? Corey, can you look up that word? Agoraphobic? What? Oh, oh, okay. I didn't even know there was a word for that. Okay, so you commitment issues. It sounds like, yeah, you didn't, okay. Being alone outside of the home, traveling, being open or enclosed, standing in line, using elevator.
She's trying to recreate her whole.
Yeah, so you are, yeah, most definitely. So hold on now.
Oh, go back.
No, 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 no. So thank you, thank you, the digital. Appreciate you. Um, yeah, just scroll up. I became due to, okay. So I just I just got off all my meds to stay with them. So it sounds like, yeah, you're really, Corey hit it on the head. You're really just trying to build up who you are. And so what I would say is that, yeah, find out what you want to do and then pursue the crap out of it. And maybe you don't want to stick with it long term, but you have to start building that discipline of chasing, and not chasing, but that the discipline of going after a goal and achieving it. And even if it's not something you want to stick with for the rest of your life, it teaches you how to set a goal, go after it, deal with the trials and tribulations of going after it, and then actually living your life that way. You become that. So for me to be a really good gym owner and coach, I have to literally become that. I had to become a gym owner. I had to become a coach. I had to live that life. I just couldn't say, yeah, this is what I'm doing. No, I became that because that was my purpose. I became the teacher because that was my purpose. And I had to live like that all the time. And I had to follow that dream all the time. And I had to set goals and chase it down and figure new things out and make mistakes and come back to it. And so that's really the discipline in this is, can you pursue this every day? Can you wake up and go after it every day? The getting up at 4 a.m., like, it doesn't get easier. I can tell you that. Some days are like, oh my God, I'm good. Some days it's like, I'm tired, man. I'm really exhausted. And so, but you got to keep going. You got to keep chucking through. And so that's so dope when you know your purpose. It becomes easier when you know your purpose. And it's something that you could pass on to your family. So, Katie, I challenge you to like do that today. Write down 5 things that you're trying to accomplish or that you think you want to do. Figure out which one, if you only had 24 hours to live, which one would you do? And then DM that over to me. I want to see that. I want to see what it is that you're going to pursue. So in like a few months, you can say, hey, I'm doing this, I'm making this happen. And then in a few more months, you can say, hey, I'm still chasing it, I'm still doing it. And then in a couple more months, hey, I'm living this life, I'm doing this. I don't know if I want to stick with it, but this is what I'm doing right now. And the funny thing is, is the blue, like I said before, the blueprint doesn't change. You just repeatedly do the same thing when you feel like you're not living within your purpose anymore. And so I'm scared all the times, always in a fight or in flight mood, trying to overcome it. See, here's the thing. So if you're always in fight or flight, just let it be that then. Because the key to moving yourself out of that fight or flight mode is doing what I'm suggesting. It's figuring out what your purpose is and figuring out what you're trying to do so you can continue to climb out of that section of your brain and get to some self-actualization, the growth. And you as you get better, you will become the person that you want to become. But you got to decide what you want to be, right? So fight or flight is great in certain situations, but not in all. So you got to decide what you're trying to do and who you're trying to be. And so you have to find the purpose given to you. There's someone talking about God in here, and that's basically all it is. It's listening to God. When you trust your gut, you're listening to God, right? So when you write those things out and your gut says, hey, this is what I want to pursue, that's a message from God. And then you follow through on it. Now I don't know what he's saying now. So Katie, it's really important that you do that. And this is how you figure out who you're meant to be. Now, the fact that you probably took care of your husband and the fact that you were, I don't know what the hell he's saying. Like, he's just, okay. The fact that you were able to take care of your husband and be a caregiver, that might be something that you want to do, is be a caregiver and help others. So, like I said, write 5 things down and go forward. I'm really putting my faith in God with my business. I can't be scared. No. Harmony, I challenge you to be scared the whole time. You don't run. I have a caregiver. He died. I was his caregiver. Yeah. So, wait, go back to Harmony. Is that Harmony that I was talking to? And the L, what's that? L the what? Someone gave me something.
Oh,
L the what? Thank you for sending me a rose. The L the digital. Thank you. I appreciate that. So, Harmony. Here's the thing about fear, and this also goes for Katie. Fear, and this is exactly what I tell my fighters. Fear isn't the problem, because we want fear. If I walked into a ring, or if I walk into a cage and I wasn't afraid, there's a problem. There's got to be some fear. There should be fear while you're training. This is what I tell my fighters. There should be some fear while you're training. There should be some fear there all the time, because of the situation you're putting yourself into. You're going to war. You're going into a battle. You're about to fight somebody else. They're going to try to hurt you, right? That fear allows us to tune in better, because that fear unlocks certain chemicals in us. It releases adrenaline. It releases all these chemicals that allow us to tune into our superhuman abilities, right? Where all of a sudden things move a little bit slower, and I can read and react, and I'm fully in the moment, and I can see, oh, they're moving, they're about to throw that punch, boom, defend. Oh, I'm moving. Oh, I rock back, and bop, there's my jab, and bop, there's my cross, and bop, there's my kick, and the elbow, and I'm just reading, reacting, and playing the game. That's all because of fear. A lot of I built instincts to go do it, right? I built the cardio and the strength to be able to go do it. But then I'm 100% in the moment because of fear. The problem with fear is, if we allow fear to overtake us, it freezes us. It stops us from doing certain things. So it's about facing that fear. So when who harmony. What I would say is ask yourself, what is it that you fear? So I tell the fighters all the time, I'm like, hey, write down what you fear. And fighters will write, it's almost always the same thing. They write down, like, I'm afraid to get knocked out. I'm afraid to look stupid in there. I'm afraid that I won't throw punches or kicks and I won't throw strikes. I'm afraid that I might get broken. I'm afraid that I might get hurt. It's usually all the same, right? And I have them write that out. And then it's like, well, okay, let's say you go into the next fight and you know that's going to happen, right? There's a chance. But let's just say you know it's going to happen. Do you still want that ride? Do you still want to get in there? And they say, yeah. And I'm like, okay. So what are we going to do with it? Face it every day. Oh man, I'm afraid I might get knocked out. Well, what can you do to prevent that? Well, I can tighten up my defense. I can make sure my hands are up. I can make sure that I'm paying attention. Boom. Now you're doing something about it. Because fear is made up, right? Fear is something that our brain makes up. It's not real, right? It's not real. It's something that we're picturing. It's something that we're imagining because we're afraid of what might happen. I went to the extreme. This is how I knew I couldn't fight anymore. Because I remember at 39, I'm 44 now, at 39, I was able to ask myself, like, hey, you might die in there today. Do you still want that ride? Do you still want to get in there? Hell yeah. Let's go. He's gonna have to kill me. If he wants his hands raised, he's gonna have to kill me. He's gonna have to end the day. And that's all. And it unlocked a whole new level for me for training. Because now, if I'm willing to die, I'm gonna go to some really far lengths in training. So, and it was able to propel me to be successful at an age where most people aren't successful, with injuries that most people aren't successful with. And so, but now I'm not willing to die for it. I'm not. And I know that. I have more things that I'm trying to accomplish that are different. There's people I want to live for. So I'm not going to put myself in that situation anymore. I know that now. I attempted to start training for a fight. I couldn't hit that same zone because I wasn't willing to die in there. So it wasn't going to be the same, and I couldn't do it. So hopefully, who was I talking? Harmony, you get what I'm saying. I hope anyway, that your failure not reaching your goal. Okay. Write that down. My fear is that I won't reach my goal. Well, then how do you attack that? How do you keep that from happening? You write down your goals and you figure out how you're going to go after it all the time, and you don't stop. And let that fear, like if you didn't do what you were supposed to today, if you're like, man, I'm taking a day off, or I'm going to go hang out with friends, or I'm going to go do this, and that's gnawing at you, good. Let it gnaw at you. Let it attack you. Let it do its thing. Because now you could be like, oh man, yeah, I'm not going after it. I got to get after it. I got to go do it. So that's what I mean. Fear isn't a bad thing. We just got to do something with it. So let me, what are they talking about? I just want to, oh, they're talking about, no, it's fine. It looks like they're having a great conversation. I like that. That's dope. Like, that's the other point of it. Like, I want people to communicate and help each other out in here. Not just me. But it was Victoria or what was her name? Harmony. And Victoria. So hopefully that helps you, Harmony. And May, thank you. Sometimes I think I'm crazy and I'm the only one that thinks like this, but so be it. Yeah, no, we're good. Wait, King of Trolls, let's get in the ring. I mean, I guess if you want to come to my gym. I'm really putting faith in God with my business. I can't be scared. Of course, you can, like I answered that. No, we're good. We're good. Good. So, um, yeah. Hopefully, Harmony, that helped you. That hopefully that does inspire you. And of course, listen to God. Most of my like everything that I say comes from God. Like it's I thank him all the time for giving me the blessings of these words. Like I think some really crazy things. And a lot of times I think people think I'm nuts because of the way I think. I believe I can build all my dreams into reality. Whatever it is that I want to do, I believe I can build. And I continue to prove that to myself and others all the time. It's just a lot of work, and it's a lot of work, and a lot of people don't want to stick with it and do the work. So Harmony, all I can say is keep getting after it, and like DM me, send me over what your business is, like send me over links. Let me support. Let me see what I could do. Of course, Katie, you can say, of course. Like, let me know what it is you're trying to do. Like, Katie, I want in 6 months, I want to see that you're better than you were today. That doesn't mean it's your end goal, but I want to be there and say, hell yeah, good job. Good job. In 6 months. In a year from now, I want to say, hell yeah, good job. And when you say, man, I don't feel like I'm doing anything, are you better today than you were yesterday? That is the goal. Growth is not linear. This like it's not. There's no timetable on it, but every day we have to pursue it. Every day we have to work towards it. Every day we have to treat it like there is no tomorrow. And enjoy that journey and enjoy that ride. And every time we wake up, be grateful that we woke up. Be grateful that we're here because we have loved ones that aren't here. We have people that were close to us that can't live that life. So we have to live that life. We have to pursue it. It's like life is so simple. We make this shit complicated. Man, I got you. You know, this is what I do, life coaching. Like, get at me. I'll be here. We can start working on things. That is my goal. Like that message, that title means everything to me. You control you. It means something to me. It means everything to me. I hold myself accountable for the actions that I take. I mess up, that's on me. That's on me. But that's why it's an interesting life because I want others to hold themselves accountable the same way. It's like if you're in my life and you messed up, apologize for your mess up. Atone, like be accountable for yourself. Man, I messed up. I did this. Cool. You control you. And Katie, I promise you that you can hold yourself accountable. But it's nice to have people that are there asking, hey, did you do this? Hey, did you get this done? And for sure I could do that. For sure we could be there and make it work. I know you got it. Like you're tougher than you ever thought you were because you went through something that most people would run and bail on. You stuck with it. You wrote it out. So you don't lack the discipline. You don't lack the commitment. You just don't know how to apply that to yourself. And that's a journey that you're about to go on. And once you learn to apply it to yourself, nothing's going to stop you. You're going to be able to conquer the world in a way that you never knew you could. Well, it's time that you build friends. It's time that you build that. And I'm sure I don't want to say for sure because you maybe really don't have friends and family, but you might, and you don't realize it. But even so, you might have to lock yourself away and build your life. And the right people will come around you. It's not hard to build a friends and family. You just want to make sure you're building them the right way, that support your vision, that want you to succeed. And so but you'll get there. But first you have to focus on you. You have to start building yourself back up. Yeah, so you got to build yourself up. And as you build yourself up, you be all right. We got this. We got this for sure, Katie. You're about to conquer the world, for sure. And not the world like how everybody else views it. You're going to conquer your own world. And it's going to be a fun journey for you. It's going to be a lot of work, and you'll probably shed a lot of tears and probably swear a lot. I'm going to get some messages like, "Man, F this. This is ridiculous." Be like, "Nah, you got it though." And I don't sugarcoat things, so like I was having a talk with someone right before I came to the studio, and the guy they're seeing said, "Hey, I'm struggling with spending the night at your house because the dog sleeps in the bed and there's not much room, so I don't get a lot of sleep." And she was pissed off, and I was like, "Why are you mad?" She was like, "Because I told him that my dog is important." Da, 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 da. I'm like, "Well, he's not telling you what to do. He's letting you know. He's letting you know he may not be able to spend the night, eat that whoop bop to bang." And she was like, "Oh, but it's so like it like I don't want to do this and I don't want to do that." I'm like, "Well, then why'd you start sleeping with him? Why'd you put yourself in this situation?" It's like, do you know there's not a lot of room in the bed? You're sleeping with him and you're allowing him to spend the night. Sounds like you're helping create this problem that is now a problem for you. And I'm like, y'all both are exclusive, so you're basically with each other, but you haven't had that talk. I'm like, it sounds like you need to have some grown conversations because you might be able to get in a bigger bed, or maybe the dog doesn't sleep in the bed right then. And I'm like, you can't choose a man right then and let it be. But I'm like, you guys got to have some certain conversations and see where this thing is going first. And she just kept yelling. It's like, you're being too honest with me. And so that's the kind of person I am. I'm just going to bring some real stuff to you, and hopefully it helps you. And you may not like it all the time. The food that I bring you does not always taste good, but it's good for you. Bars. That was bars. That was clever. I don't even know. I don't think I created that. I'm sure I heard it somewhere, but it sounds dope coming out of my mouth. So, Terry, what's up? Good afternoon. So, again, before I get offline, I'm going to read this again. Hopefully, it helps some of you. I've been setting boundaries with people. Wait, people, my life has been so. I can't see the last part because that send comment is in the way. So much better. Yeah, like, here's the funny thing about boundaries. It's weird that we talk about boundaries all the time in our society because it seems really simple to me. If you are living your life, like if you have a purpose, right? So my purpose is running my gym, coaching fighters, being the greatest husband and father I could be, right? Those are my main purposes. I do a podcast, I'm working on a book, I'm doing lots of things. If something is getting in the way of that, I remove it from my life. Now, people would call that a boundary. To me, I'm not letting things in my life that doesn't align with my life. That includes people. If you don't align in my life, then I don't need to hang out with you. I don't need to talk with you. I don't need, what's the purpose? Because it's going to be a waste of my time and your time. Because the whole time I'm hanging out with you, I'm going to be thinking about doing something else. So what's the point of that? Does that make sense? And so, and if I do hang out with you and you don't support what I'm doing, if you're constantly telling me I should stop this or telling me that I'm not doing, like, I don't want to be around that either. I don't have time for negativity like that. So I don't want to deal with it. So I'm glad that you are finding that you are removing the people from your life, but the boundaries word, man, it's like, it's cool, but whenever I hear boundaries, I just think people are setting limitations for themselves. It's like you're just living your life and realizing that certain people aren't made to be in your life, and that's okay. That's not putting a boundary on yourself. That's actually realizing that you've outgrown these people, that you're going in a different direction than these people. That's okay. Walk a different direction. If they are your people, they will support you walking in a different direction. That's fine. Hopefully that makes sense to y'all. So, again, today's episode was The Power of Purpose, Every Man's Mission. Every man walks through life searching for something to give his existence meaning. It's not until he truly discovers his purpose that he can begin to fully realize his potential. The journey to finding your purpose isn't just about achievement. It's about understanding who you are at your core, what drives you, and how you can use your talents and passions to make an impact. Once you find that purpose, the key is to commit to it fully, because only through dedication can a man truly rise to the heights he's destined for. In other words, dive into yourself, figure out what you're meant to do, and give everything you can to it. Everything you got. And watch yourself grow. Watch yourself become a better person. And when that's not your purpose anymore, that's okay. Apply it to the next thing. And apply it to the next thing. And apply it to the next thing. I don't know if I'm always going to own a gym. I don't know if I'm always going to be a coach. I don't know. Right now, that's my calling. But in 10 years, it may not. 10 years, this podcast thing might be taken off, and I might love this. This might be my purpose more. In 10 years, maybe I've written 2 or 3 books, and I want to continue to do that. I don't know. But I'm not going to stress about it. What I'm going to keep doing is living my life within my purpose and keep going forward. Keep being a great husband or working to be a great husband. Keep working towards being a great father, because that's all I could do. You keep working towards being the best version of you. Live within your purpose. Find out what it is and go after it with everything you got. Man, thank y'all for all the love. Thank you for the support. So happy to be back. Thailand was dope. It was a lot of fun to go out there and train and coach. My fighter brought back a W, so I'm really excited about that. Maybe we'll break down the film. I couldn't mic myself up, but we could break down the film. I got all 3 rounds now, so we can break some of that down, and you can see what I'm thinking as a coach and understand what it's like. So maybe we'll do that next week. All right. In the meantime, man, stay up. DM me. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for all the love. I appreciate y'all. We out. Remember, you control you, baby.